I'm the mother of a minor child that was at the Autumn Fest event on October 10th at approximately 5 p.m. My daughter was in line at a ride with friends and a family member, all minors. There was a minor boy that was about to be coming off a ride, who they know. As my daughter friends, cousin, were in line, they overheard a man that was standing with a minor child, known to me later on to be his son, stating on the phone he didn't know how this was all going to end as he was waiting for the minor boy to come off the ride. The minor girls, hearing this, hurried to where the minor boy was exiting to prevent this man and minor child from getting to him. There, my daughter's cousin, trying to protect the minor boy, had her arms up in attempt to block the minor that was with this man from going towards the minor exiting the ride. My minor daughter's cousin was then attacked, grabbed, and thrown out of the way by this adult man as he goes and punches the boy in the face. The boy had started bleeding from the mouth and fell to the ground, surrounded by several witnesses. My daughter screamed, "What are you doing?" as she ran in an effort to protect the minor boy. She tried removing the man and boy apart. In part, she had gotten thrown with force by this man who assaulted the boy. The man proceeded to assault another female minor, punching her in the face. A stranger, adult male, unknown to me, who I'd like to personally thank for stepping in and protecting these minors. This was later when they got into a physical altercation that video would later show. He tried protecting them. Cops came in at this point. The now large group tells the police that the minor girls and the minor boy were assaulted. The assaulter was let go after telling the cops whatever he said. I did later read in a newspaper article that there was an alleged attempt to steal his son's sneakers earlier in the day. May I add, the minor girls were not there or present during these alleged incidents. That this man went there hours later intentionally to find and physically harm the boy that he was allegedly protecting himself and son from. The teenagers, including my daughter, was told to leave without being heard by clearly biased officers unseen. Myself as a parent, if I or even any parent were to punch, throw, or rough up a child, what happens? I or you would be arrested. No matter what you say to defend your actions, because it is against the law, right? But as they were leaving, scared, upset, confused, and still trying to say their half, police proceed to provoke and harass the group, including my daughter. A bystander started filming and was witness to the unnecessary behavior of officers, letting the officers know that the behavior was not necessary from their peers. Immediately quickly happened when a teenager was thrown to the ground by multiple officers, holding her down with force as she screams that she could not breathe. As the witness yells out not to worry, he has everything on video, police started to approach him and his daughter, saying, "Back up." As the daughter was backing up, the witness repeatedly said, "Do not touch her, my daughter, or myself." He turns to the officer to make sure that he is on video and is jumped from behind from another officer while forcing him to the ground and holding his head and neck down with the knee that could have killed him and placed him wrongfully under arrest. My daughter was recording that incident of the bystander being attacked by police on East School Street behind Autumn Fest walls. She turns and sees her cousin being thrown by multiple officers with force onto a cement wall as she's placed under arrest. My daughter screams and runs to her. The cops then forcibly grabbed her, threw her, and whacked my daughter's head into a cement bench and then threw her to the ground. Witnessing video of this act against my daughter was and is not justified. My daughter could have been killed by the actions of these officers. As she was on the ground, she's screaming, "Get the F off of me. Let me go. I didn't do anything." The cops refused to release her while walking her to the police car. My daughter was threatened to keep walking or she would get hurt. I believe if the witness and bystander was not there recording the provoking, bullying, and brutality of the officers would have been far worse against the teenagers arrested. At the police station, my daughter was brought in by a male officer. She was brought to a room and cuffed to a bench. The male officer asked her to empty her pockets. Then he searched her butt pocket. In her words, "He checked my butt pocket himself like a weirdo. My daughter, friend, and cousin were denied parent access, even though asked several times and was told our rights, my rights as a parent, her rights, and was also denied filing a police report of the assault on her. Denied filing a police report for all teenagers arrested. I was denied badge numbers and names as well. Police refused to allow the mother of the boy to file charges on the adult man who punched her son, giving her the runaround and ultimately leading to her unable to file a report. Police officers refused to be of help. We were laughed at and mocked by the entire incident. The cops were more focused on the disrespect and words used by the minors than anything else. Woonsocket has a very famous slogan: give respect, get respect. Is this slogan that's used in schools and taught to our children that it stands for all? Is it now null and void when it comes to some law enforcement? The responses by these minors and witness to law enforcement were all justifiable and normal when automatically disrespected, discriminated, and judged by last name, by their looks, their choice of words expressing the freedom of speech, and treated unfairly from the start. After assaults occurred and during the melee that was avoidable had the police served and protected these minor victims from the start. We want justice of the injustice that was brought upon the innocent in this very unnecessary situation. Upon personally viewing my daughter's police report, it was very clear that each statement I read was very conflicting and contradictory. 2 of these statements placed my daughter in 2 separate areas of arrest during the incident itself, and other statements had nothing to personally to write about my daughter. These minors and witness that were arrested were standing up for what is right, and as a result in doing so, injustice was received by the officers involved. We are not anti-police. We support all officers that do right and do uphold the law and not break it themselves. But sadly, many officers involved failed and were unjust. We want those officers involved to be held accountable for all their actions on all the minors and the witness. That were wrongfully arrested. We want this man who assaulted these minors charged and arrested. We want these charges that were brought upon these minors to be dismissed. We also want, lastly, the human rights as a mother, a child, a witness, a citizen, and victims that were automatically denied and withheld, given back, where justice can be restored by law officers that do uphold, follow the law, and that will serve and protect these rights. I have nothing else to say.